Hey, what's up? Welcome to another Magic Arena video here in Tormod's Crypt. Today we are going through another standard event, and I decided that I was going to play a red-black Reanimator build with a one white card splashed in, just for good measure. So this is an interesting build. I have no idea how it's going to work as far as anything we're going to see in this event. So I've play tested it a couple times. It's fun. It's different. It's interesting. When it works, it works. When it doesn't, we're gonna get buried. But it's fun. I want to play it. I want to show it in a video, and it is what it is. So we've got two Grim Initiates in here because we want to amass them, and we also like the first strike. Two Rix Maadi Revelers because it lets us put stuff in the graveyard. And then we've got Thrill of Possibility, which also lets us dump stuff into the graveyard and draw cards. Rotting Regisaur, which is a great card just in and of itself, but also lets us fill up the graveyard. Embodiment of Agonies, one of the reasons we're filling up our graveyard. So this guy is a flyer. He's flying in Death Touch for 2 black and 1 generic. And the cool thing about him is that he enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter for each different mana cost among non-land cards in your graveyard. So this isn't just like different CMCs, which we've seen before, where, you know, for instance, on the screen here, it's 2 and a black and 1 and 2 blacks. Those are separate mana costs rather than converted mana costs, which would equal 3 for both of them. So we really like this guy specifically in this deck. We've got Merchant of the Veil because, again, he allows us to put stuff in the graveyard and draw cards. Also, this dude looks exactly like the Undertaker, and it kind of creeps me out. Cry of the Carnarium helps us wipe our board and put stuff in our graveyard if we need to, or control small things if the opponent is playing something more aggressive and we're trying to, kind of control the board until we can get some of our stuff going. Honor the God-Pharaoh. This lets us fill up our graveyard, draw 2 cards, and amass. So that's got some utility in here. And then Bedevil, it helps us with artifact, creature, or planeswalker removal. We've got Blood for Bones, which allows us to kind of trade stuff in and out of the graveyard, right? Angrath, Captain of Chaos, he gives our creatures menace and allows us to amass. Widespread Brutality, this helps us to amass and then deal damage to each non-army creature, so we can really do some damage to our opponents depending on what kind of an army we've got on the board. Kenrith the Return King, he's the one white card that's in this deck, and we've got him in here to get into the bin and then pull out with a Blood for Bones, or let's see, it's down here, Bond of Revival, things like that. But we're looking to either give all our creatures trample and haste, which isn't that great because we don't have huge creatures, but his 5 CMC ability there, the 4 and a black, allows us to put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under its owner's control. So we can pull one out of our graveyard and put it on the battlefield. Syr Konrad, he really helps us when we're trying to fill up our graveyard. So whenever another creature dies, or a creature card is put into the graveyard from anywhere other than the battlefield, or a creature card leaves your graveyard, Syr Konrad the Grim deals 1 damage to each opponent. So as we're filling the graveyard and as we're recurring stuff, Konrad is dealing damage, which is awesome. And then we can force him to, or we can have him mill ourselves and our opponent. Cavalier of Night, this has some removal, some lifelink, and then some recursion as well. Ilharg the Raze-Boar, of course, whenever he attacks, you may put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped and attacking, and it goes back to your hand at the beginning of the next end step. But when he dies or is put into exile from the battlefield, you can put him on the owner's library, much like the God Eternals, that he's with. So he's the God Boar, right? The God Pig. And then Bond of Revival allows us to return target creature card from our graveyard to the battlefield, and it gains haste until your next turn, which is a lot of fun with cards like the Haunt of Hightower, which whenever it attacks, defending player discards a card. And whenever a card is put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, be it their library, their hand, the battlefield, whatever we're doing, the Haunt of Hightower gets a +1/+1 counter. And then Drakuseth, so we can recurring him really early game, like turn 4 with a Bond of Revival or something is pretty cool. 7/7 flyer, whenever he attacks, deals 4 damage to any target and 3 damage to up to each of 2 other targets. So this guy's been great for me against Questing Beast because he just wipes it out and then also can kind of handle other things that are on the board. And finally, we've got Vilis, Broker of Blood. He's an 8/8 flyer for 5 and 3 black. We can pay 1 or tap a swamp to pay 2 life to give a creature -1/-1 until end of turn. And then whenever you lose life, draw that many cards. So anytime we activate his ability, we're drawing cards off of it. So 2 cards, unless we activate it more than once in a turn. This guy's really awesome in EDH as well. So I like this card. It's pretty cool. I like it in this deck as well. Then as far as a mana base, I built this for best of one, so there's no sideboard. Mana base, we've got Castle Locthwain in here because it lets us kind of cycle through stuff, and it also taps for black. 7 swamp, 8 mountain, 3 blood crypt for a dual land, and then 4 Bloodfell Caves for dual lands, and also a little bit of life gain, you know, in a pinch if we need it. So that's the deck. Like I said, we are playing that in one of the standard events here, and let's jump right in and see how this thing performs. I have no idea if we're just going to go 0-3 and get bounced the fuck out of this event immediately, but, you know, like I said, the deck is a lot of fun. It's pretty janky. Hopefully you guys can see some of the fun stuff you're able to do with it before I get bounced from this event. We'll see. Let's see. So I don't really like this hand because it's way too slow. So I'm going to mulligan and not get that much better of a hand. I think what I'm going to do is put the Cavalier of Night on the bottom of the deck, and I'll keep everything else. So we'll Grim Initiate here on turn 1, if we can get the land out. So again, he's a 1/1 first strike. When he dies, we get to amass 1. Opponent's just checking that out too. He's going to get shocked away. So we lose the first strike, but we get a body, so that's fine. Let's see. Unless you control a swamp. Okay, doesn't really matter. We don't have mana to do anything else anyway, but we'll put the swamp out first. We'll go with the Locthwain next turn, since we need 2 black for Cry and Embodiment. So there's a 10 Street Dodger. You get hit with that real quick. I suppose we could honor the God-Pharaoh, but I kind of want to keep the Cry of the Carnarium because I have a feeling that their deck is going to go very wide very fast. So if we can hang on to that and then just kill their stuff, I am totally cool with that. And I don't really want to pitch anything yet because I think the Cry is going to come in handy. The Embodiment, I want to fill up the graveyard before I cast him, and we don't have enough land yet to really be too effective. So let's do that. This is sorcery speed anyway. I guess we could honor the God-Pharaoh here and pitch a mountain and then amass 1 and draw 2 cards. So we'll do that. Okay. So let's go ahead and attack. I'll chump it. Okay. Or they're just going to kill it. That's fine too. Less damage we're going to take this turn. The Dwarf token. And there's the Goblin Ringleader. And they caught 2 goblins, a Dodger and a War Boss. I kind of want to wait till the War Boss is out to cast my Cry of the Carnarium. We'll Blood Crypt here. Yeah. Let's see. We could play the Reveler and then get rid of the Blood for Bones, just to have another casting cost in the graveyard for the Embodiment of Agonies. So I think we're going to do that. Let's do that. Let's get rid of this. Let's draw a card. There's a Vilis. So we've got 5 land. It's going to be at least 3 turns before we can get him out, unless we have a way to get him in the graveyard with some recursion. There we go. So yeah, we're definitely going to cast the Cry of the Carnarium next turn. So we are going to block like this. And we'll take 4. And we are going to Cry. Just to get another CMC into our graveyard. So the Embodiment of Agonies is going to be a 5/5 Flying Death Touch for 3 land next turn. So there's 2 hasty guys. I get smoked with those right now, which is fine. It's too bad Embodiment of Agonies doesn't have lifelink. Cavalier of Night does, though. But I don't want to sacrifice anything right now. Let's just go ahead and get the Embodiment of Agonies out on the board. So he's out of lava coil range, which is nice. Unless they've got a lava coil and a shock, which maybe they do. But then they're using 2 spells to get rid of him. And we still have the Cavalier of Night we can cast next turn. We've got Ilharg we can cast next turn. Ringleader comes out. See what they get. All mountains. So, Dodger's unblockable. We're going to block like this. Take 2. Which is fine. Because what we're going to do here is this. And we're going to cast. We're going to get Ilharg out on the board. And we are just going to pass the turn here so that we can block everything. We are getting a little low on life. Next turn we can attack with Ilharg and the Embodiment and put a Cavalier of Night on the board and gain 4 life back. So they're going to have to work pretty hard to get rid of Ilharg here. They need a Lava Coil and a Shock. That's about all they could have in their hand right now. Chandra's whatever, but I doubt they're running it. Would deal some damage. All mountains again. So they are definitely hitting some mana veins here. So they're going to swing with the Dodger, who is unblockable right now. They're just going to try to slowly ping us out, which is fine. So that'll end their turn. Let's see. Let's go ahead and let that enter tapped. We're going to attack with everything. And let's see here. We could hit them for 13 flying. And they can block 3, so they would take 16 here. I don't think that that's quite enough. We need the lifelink here. I don't trust that they can't do something to kill us next turn if that happens. We are going to decline and not sacrifice a creature. Because we want to hit them with everything we can here. So the Cavalier does not have trample, but again, that's our lifelink. Ilharg's got trample. Alright, so they're not going to chump anyone there, which is fine. So, we'll just end the turn here. Cav's going to go back to our hand. Opponent's in trouble. We survived long enough to put some pressure on him now. So, Weaselback Red Cap. They can't get us for 10. No. Nice. But that's a target of a spell or ability, right? Yeah. So we're not going to be targeting them with anything. They're going to scoop it, or are they going to let us play out our turn here? We'll see. Alright, we're just going to go right to combat and call it what it is. Let's get a Vilis out there attacking. We don't need the lifelink, so we'll finish him off right here. No, they're going to scoop and not take the damage. That's fine. So it worked. It worked in game 1. We didn't really reanimate anything, but we were able to really use the Embodiment of Agonies ability there and kind of show off how cool that is with all the different casting costs that are in this deck. It's another reason why there's minimal copies of everything and a wide variety of casting costs. I don't know if you noticed that as we were going through the deck at the beginning of this video, but that's what it was. Casual Mom. So we got filthy casuals here. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't like this hand. Okay, we'll play with this hand. We're going to put Vilis No, we're not. We'll put the Cavalier on the bottom of the deck. Because we can put Vilis in the graveyard with the Honor the God-Pharaoh and then bring him back the next turn with a Bond of Revival. So we'll put the Cavalier on the bottom of the deck. We'll lead off with the Caves. Gain a life. Doesn't really matter, though. We can't do anything turn 2 unless we draw into something. There's a tomb. Let's get a red mana out again. No particular reason. The goose, the goose. Alright. Drop one of these off. Then we're going to honor the God-Pharaoh. We're going to discard Vilis. Draw 2 more cards. Beautiful. I like this. We got a lot of ways to put stuff in the bin right now. I'd love to see another goose come out. That'd be great. There's the pup. So we also could... Oh, excellent. We have a Bedevil, because I have a feeling we're going to see a Rook at some point soon. Let's see. What could we do here? We could cry here and wipe out everything they have on the board. Let's do that. Set them back a little bit. We don't really care about the amassed card. I don't want to cast Merchant of the Veil yet, because there's nothing I want to discard yet. I want the Bond of Revival to get Vilis back. I want the Bedevil to deal with the Garruk that I'm convinced is going to be coming at some point. Let him go here. All right. Okay. Well, so let's go ahead and do this. We want to draw 2. We want to draw 2. So we're going to put Kenrith in the bin, which is exactly what we want to do with him, since we have no white mana. We're going to draw 2 cards. We did not get anything we wanted. Okay. I don't really care about the Widespread Brutality right now, do I? I mean, I don't have any other mass stuff in my hand right now. I mean, I guess it could deal 2 damage to something else they bring out, but let's just go ahead and discard that. I hope it doesn't come back to bite me in the ass, but we'll see. Drew a mountain, so now we can get Bond of Revival next turn, which is great. We like that because Vilis is coming out. Actually, maybe Kenrith is going to come out, because then we can just use Kenrith the next turn to get the Vilis. There's a Tools Mirror. So, how do we want to do this? Let's Bond of Revival. Get the Kenrith. Let's just pass the turn, see what the opponent's going to do here. Of course, now we could have had the Honor the God-Pharaoh and then use the Widespread Brutality for 3 in the amass. Ah, shit, we don't even get to use them. That's fine. What we could do is Honor the God-Pharaoh. Well, no, we couldn't. Never mind. So the opponent, yes, the Prince. The Charming Prince. Taking 6 there really blows. We can Regisaur and then not do anything. Artifact, creature, or planeswalker. I guess we could kill. Well. Let's get you out to at least chump block, and then we'll see what happens. I'm really confused about what to do here. I'm gonna play a wolf. No. Just gonna chump here. Try and stop the bleeding a little bit. Alrighty, Paradise Druid. Oh my god, there's nothing I want to discard here, and we don't have any land. I guess we can Regisaur. We can Reveler. I'm gonna dump off the Honor the God-Pharaoh, I guess. We're gonna draw a mountain, which would have been great before, but that's okay. So we can Cavalier of Night next turn and sacrifice the Reveler. Unless they play a Planeswalker here, then we have to Bedevil. Because that Garruk and his wolf interaction is going to suck whenever he comes out. I'd be very, very, very shocked if this deck didn't have one. Anybody? Anybody? Clearly now would be a good time to fast forward. Are you really thinking that hard right now? Hand's not highlighted. We're not going through cards. Come on, casual mom. Are you talking to your casual son? Well, now they're looking at their shit. Still got to do something, though. There he is. I called it. I called it.
Good head on those shoulders. For now. You cannot run or hide.
Well, so much for sacrificing the Reveler to the Cav of Night. All right. We'll just discard the Cavalier of Night. We'll play the swamp. We're gonna Bedevil your Garruk.
Remember, you reap what you sow.
And then we're gonna pass turn. That sucked. Wanted to use that Cavalier of Night on the Rix Maadi Reveler. Wanted the lifelink. Dude, don't just sit here now. Come on. At least they skipped their first phase. Now they're deciding whether or not they want to attack. I'm at 12 and I have one blocker. I mean, I'd attack with something at least. I don't know. You got something that's going to pump your creature up. Kill my Regisaur. You got a buff? They got a buff. Ah, no, they're flashing in the ambusher. There you go. You got Disfigure? Charming Prince. Okay. Might be in some trouble here. Now they get another wolf. Now it's going to fight. I see what they're doing here. Nicely played. Yeah, we're gonna get out of here. That went too wide now. And Thrill of Possibility is not going to do anything for us. So, for the sake of brevity, after that match went that long, we're going to dump out. And we're going to go to game 3. We're going to see what we can do here. So I think we were okay. We just kind of ran out of gas and hit some rough draws in that last matchup. Okay, I'll keep this hand. I don't feel like we need to necessarily mulligan anything out of it. I like it. Alright. Ye Olde Blossoming Sands. Actually, you know what we could do here? We could Merchant. Discard our Haunt. And draw another card. Okay, we got an Angrath. Haven't seen one of those yet. In any of the games that we've been recording. Oh, sure. Because why not go from 1 Angrath to 2? So we'll go tapped. Another Abzan deck here. I take it back. Got some 4-color action going on. So I think we're going to see some Oko. We're going to see some Garruk. Oh, look at that. A Field of the Dead deck. Fan-friggin-tastic. I'm going to go ahead and kill that Risen Reef before it starts going off. Gonna Girl Spiral into something now? Nope. Alright. Dodge that bullet. So we'll go here. Let's go ahead and get an Angrath on the board. Because what we can do is we can cast Ilharg, and then we can use him to get the Embodiment of Agonies out if we want to. Yeah, absolutely. I will search my library for a basic land. Throw a swamp out there. Because we're just going to Angrath again, baby. So 5 lands on the board for the opponent. Hopefully they missed a land drop. Oh, there's Golos. Do we have any way to remove him? No, we don't. So, there's their land. Yep. No way to kill him right now. Which is fine. So let's go ahead and get Ilharg on the board. Pass the turn. Is he gonna get killed? That's fine. We'll stick him. We'll tuck him. Take action. Tuck him back in there. Do we jump? No, we don't. I don't think we do. Because this turn, we can go ahead and Angrath. Embodiment of Agonies. And a Mass again. And we'll swing here. Oh, nice. I'm assuming the embodiment's gonna go, right? Yep, that's fine. So they should attack with the Golos here. And they should attack Angrath. Yep. Okay.
I'll have you in chains next time.
So we're gonna Rotting Regisaur. Then we are going to Blood for Bones. We are gonna sacrifice you, submit one. And we are going to... Oh no! Embodiment of Agonies is under deputy detention, isn't he? That's fine. We'll put you out there. I wasn't thinking. So Cry of the Canarium would be really nice here. So we'll block here, we'll block here. We are going to net +1 life. We don't have a card to discard. We are going to play the Ilharg. We are going to pass the turn so that we have blockers. Alright, they'll get 3 more Zombos, which is fine. They are not going to attack with said Zombos, which is fine. We're going to get a Merchant of the Veil out to block. We're going to pass turn because we need to block said Zombos. Yep, we're going to lose our Haunt. Throw a mountain out there. So that's our lifelinker. That's a bummer. Nothing to discard. Hey, there we go. Toss you out there. That's turn. So we really need to cry the Carnarium. So, oh, great, a Kaya's Wrath. Or a Mass Manipulation. Well, they can't do Mass Manipulation right now. Crassus, they're not going to get any value out of. The only thing that they would get anything out of is Kaya's Wrath, and that's going to wipe their whole board too. And actually, it would give us our Embodiment of Agonies that's exiled with the Deputy of Detention back. What are you doing? Nice. Why is that nice? So now the Kaya's Wrath? Is that what they're gonna do? Is that their plan? Maybe I shouldn't have blocked the Deputy of Detention. Well, we're gonna put him back. 1 turn too late is the cry of the Carnarium. Well, hopefully they hit a land here. Or here. There we go. Alright, well, we'll just do this. Miss a land, miss a land, miss a land. Miss a land, miss a land, miss a land. They're gonna hit it anyway. So this one, Field of the Dead here, might be a little too much for us to overcome. Or not. There, let's just hope they miss a land here. Alright. Yeah. This is another one we're just gonna scoop. It's too far gone. See ya. So, again, the deck's not, like, it doesn't lack competitiveness. It's just, with so few copies of cards, it's hard to kind of get what you need in a timely manner, right? Like, we were able to hit the Cry of the Carnarium, but we hit it like a turn late, and that Kaya's Wrath really hurt us too. What I should have done was not block the Deputy of Detention, because they could have Wrathed, and then we would have gotten our Embodiment of Agonies back, and that would have helped us a lot. But I didn't do it, and now we're here. So we're going to keep 7. We're going to thrill a possibility on turn 2 and pitch the Merchant of the Veil. One keeps 5. Oh boy. Black blue. And they've got Lazav as their avatar, so. Alright, so let's swamp here. Let's thrill the possibility. Get rid of one of the Merchant of the Veils. That'll work. There it is. Now, if they're smart, they would get rid of the Konrad or the Bonder Revival, but I don't know what they have for Planeswalker removal either, though, so maybe they won't want to deal with the Menace and the Amassing Hijinks. Yep, Bonder Revival. Smart move. Get rid of that recursion, because who knows, we could draw like a Drakuseth or something next turn, cast the Merchant, dump them, and then they could be in for some trouble. So actually, what I think we're going to do here is we're going to do this. We're going to send the Merchant on an adventure. We're going to bin a swamp, and we're going to draw a swamp. Okay, so we traded a swamp for a swamp. Wonderful. The opponent doesn't know that, though. Okay. Let's go ahead and get the Angrath out. Let's amass, and then we will pass the turn. Opponent plays nothing again. I'm a little intrigued by that. We're going to play another swamp just so that we can cast the Konrad without having to shock ourselves. I don't know if and when life is going to become too important of a resource, and we didn't necessarily need a red source there anyway, so there was no sense in shocking ourselves for it. When we had other mana up. Okay. So they're going to scorn us. They are going to take the damage from Syr Konrad. Disfigure, another disfigure. Okay. May as well cast the Merchant of the Veil. We'll activate him. We will discard the swamp, and we will draw a card. There we go. So we're gonna discard. Well, no, we don't even have to discard him next turn, do we? We could just go ahead and play out the Drakuseth. Alright, so they're going to get hit hard there. So 4, 3, yeah, so we're going to go ahead and shock ourselves. We are going to just cast Drakuseth from our hand and hope that they don't have like an Assassin's Trophy or a Death Sprout or something else that they can leverage this turn for targeted removal, since they can't use the Vraska. Now they're probably wishing they had left the Merchant of the Veil.
Sacrifices must be made.
So I think that's what they're doing here, fishing for removal, right? Did they catch it? Fudge and fudge. Alright, well. So we can Syr Konrad here. And we can cry the Carnarium. He got exiled, it didn't go to the graveyard, so we don't hit anything off of it, but it gets the Thief of Sanity out of the way. They can alt their Vraska to get rid of our Syr Konrad. Or our Angrath. Nope, they're just going to plus her to gain a life and draw a card, maybe looking for some more removal. Nope, they didn't even do anything there. Okay, so we are going to move to combat. We are going to declare attackers. We're going to send Konrad at Vraska.
I won't forgive this.
I forgot this gives it haste because we could have brought Drakuseth back with haste. We'll end the turn. I was hoping they'd like play out a creature card or something. Enters tapped. Haunt of Revival. Drakuseth. So take 4 from Drakuseth and take 12 from the creatures. Attacking. We will end the turn. And they're going to scoop. Okay, cool. So we came back and won that one. Sweet. One loss away from getting bounced here, but it's still playing decently well. What do we got? 300 gold and 3 cards that were guaranteed. So what do we got? 2 and 2? 3 and 2? I lost track. I don't remember what I was looking at. Okay. And keep rolling as long as this deck wants to roll with us. So there's no way for us to get him in our graveyard right now. But we'll see. Shouldn't be too hard to draw into something. Lots of options. That's when you know you're a real Magic player. You don't give a shit about main phase opting, right? You're just like, screw it. There we go, that'll work. So we are going to discard our Kenrith the Returned King. We're going to draw 2 cards. Hey, and we got a Bond of Revival. Excellent. So far, so good. And that's another Bond of Revival. We'll gain a life. Take a turn off. Flash something in here. There it is. There it is. Oh, that's cute. Let's Blood Crypt. Enters tapped. Let's Embodiment of Agonies. Next turn, we will Bond of Revival our Kenrith. Embodiment of Agonies will stay at 2/2, but Kenrith will be on the board. And be another way for us to recur things. Unless I decide to block something. Maybe the Empyrean Eagle. Or they have a Brazen Borrower. Yep, there you go. Flash him back. Okay. So, let's cast this. Cast this. Grab you back. Boop. Can't block anyway, so let's get in there for 5. Get a Brazen Borrower. Because otherwise we get Cavalier of Night next turn, sacrificing the Kenrith to destroy, say, the Empyrean Eagle. Since he's buffing the other, he's a Flying Lord. Buffing Flyers. There's another one. Yes, we definitely want to take one of those out next turn. Alright. So they will Tribunal here. That's fine. How to do this? So we get 3. Yeah, it's not going to do much. But he's a Death Touch. So at least he forces them to worry about, you know, at least we can get rid of one of the Eagles if they can't deal with him. Oh, or that stupid fairy. Yeah, we gotta. I mean, we're taking 7, but oh, Lord. A little too fast for us, I think, here. Yeah, I mean, we can't even Bedevil and then Cry of the Carnarium because they're going to have 3. Yeah. I mean, here, let's just kill you, I guess. I mean, I don't know what the best target is in that regard, and the Cry of the Carnarium's not going to do us any good right now. So, it was a valiant fight. We just got outpaced by the blue-white flyers. Well, at least we can, So, yeah, I mean, it doesn't even pay. We could bond a revival for the Embodiment of Agonies, but the Grim Initiate's not going to do us any good. So, might as well just cry the Carnarium, wipe out those miscreants. Unfortunately, there's no other way to deal direct damage. So, we're just going to say good game. We're going to scoop there, not drag it out. And that's that. So again, the deck is very hit or miss. It's a ton of fun. It's janky as hell. 2 wins, 3 losses. The fudge just happened. So let's jump back in there and take a look at this thing. So it says it's white, black, red, but that's because there's a Kenrith, but really he's the only white card and there's no white mana. So I'm calling it black, red, reanimate. But anyway, it's a ton of fun. It's janky as shit. It's really fun. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You got to see a lot of cool synergies that are in it, and you got to see it click, and you got to see it totally sputter out and die. So, again, 2 Grim Initiate, 2 Rix Maadi Revelers, 2 Thrill of Possibilities, 2 Rotting Regisaur, 2 Embodiment of Agonies, 2 Merchant of the Veil, 2 Cry the Carnarium, 2 Honor the God-Pharaoh, 2 Bedevil, 3 Blood for Bones, 2 Angrath, Champion of Chaos, 2 Widespread Brutality, 1 Kenrith, the Returned King, 2 Syr Konrad the Grim, 2 Cavalier of Night, 1 Ilharg the Raze-Boar, 3 Bond of Revival, 1 Haunt of Hightower, 1 Drakuseth Maw of Flames, 1 Vilis, Broker of Blood, 1 Castle Locthwain, 7 Swamp, 8 Mountain, 3 Blood Crypt, and 4 Bloodfell Caves. Again, thank you guys for watching. I hope you had some fun watching it as much as I had playing it. I mean, again, it's jank, but it's a ton of fun. So thanks again for watching, and we will see you